5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hi, I'm the guy you know at the end of the commercials. You know, I'm always the one giving you the lines that the company really doesn't want you to hear. But here at GabNet, that's all changed. Here, I get to talk about all the cool stuff. How about that? So, let's get going before I get fired. GabNet is the home of the Citizen Panel. It's an original concept that allows for a panel of regular folks just like you to Skype in and join in on the discussions. Whether it's Alex Bennett's Ramble, The Intersection with Jack Bishop, The Exchange with Damian Chaplin, or The Arena hosted by the franchise MC, you get to be a major part of the programs on GabNet. To participate, just Skype us at GabNet Live. It's that simple. GabNet Live will immediately make you a panelist, and you're invited to stay for the entire program. Don't sit on the sidelines. Participate in the live citizen panels on all live programs here on GabNet.
Jack Bishop of GabNet's The Intersection, Tuesdays through Fridays at midnight Eastern Time. It's everything from what's going on with the new royal couple to what's happening with that grumpy old man in the Oval Office. Movies, music, old TV shows, you name it. From thoughtful discussions to out-and-out fights like my grandma would referee between my uncles. So from mild to wild, join me, Jack Bishop, Tuesdays to Fridays at midnight for The Intersection on GabNet Live. It's talk like you never heard it.
We're GabNet, and we've got you covered live 5 nights a week. First, on Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, it's The Exchange with Damian Chaplin.
Well, I wish California would just kind of like break off on its own, you know. And I don't mean like secede from the United States. I mean like physically break off from the United States.
And float away. Well,
yes.
That might happen someday.
Yes.
Oh no, we're going in the other direction. We came from the ocean. We're heading over. We're heading east.
Aren't we sliding up?
Tuesday through Friday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, it's Alex Bennett with The Ramble.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
What's going on down there?
I was looking at the map, and the whole southern end, there's really low counts down in the southern United States, and then Mexico only had like 2 or 3.
They sent all of their infected up here.
Tuesday through Friday at midnight, The Intersection.
Oh, Amazon has told its suppliers, don't send us anything that is not essential. We want medicines, we want foodstuffs, we want cleaning supplies. Your goddamn Bluetooth can wait till this is over.
If you like sports, we've got that too, with The Arena, Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Marcus Pouncey, one of the black offensive linemen for the Steelers, was the guy who went after Myles Garrett and was the one who was stomping him and punching him in the end zone when he was on the ground.
Catch up on all the shows with our weekend flashback. All shows have the Citizen Panel, an exclusive concept of GabNet. It's new, it's daring, it's talk like you've never heard it before.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this podcast.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
From the most infected city in America, it's Alex Bennett and the Ramble from now until midnight Eastern Daylight Time. Okay, coronavirus and no coronavirus. We have a tradition we do here. We call this person because he always answers in a funny way. Okay? So let's see if it rings. get it ringing here. There we go. And let's see who's there.
I told you to never call me when I watch The Accidental Family. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Accidental Talent.
It's Stephen Pearl. It's Stephen Pearl, ladies and gentlemen. You know.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The world is ending. Let's do one of our last shows here before we all die.
Yeah, well, we only do 15 minutes now because...
Oh, okay, yeah. You don't know how much time is left, so...
I'm running a show.
Before everyone gets the whooping call.
Right. How you doing?
Everybody got the whooping call.
Stephen Pearl, and he's out there in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah, lost wages. That one always slays me.
How's the corona doing out there?
Well, I'm still alive, and so far as I know, none of my friends have it, and I'm still interacting with people at least once a week. I go out to see friends, but other than that, everyone's staying in. It sucks. Everyone's going nuts.
Yeah.
Especially comics who like to get out there, and we like to be in front of people, but now there are no people to be in front of.
None of the casinos or showrooms are open, right?
Nothing. Zero. Lights out, baby. It's strip is dark. Just the names on the hotels you can see, and all the windows are dark. It's insane.
Well, gee, maybe you'll get that $1,200 check from the president.
Hey, if Trumpy Dumpy sends me that money, I will drive him around for 3 months. He can stay here when he's in Nevada. I'll let him stay here. Come on, I'll make you a sandwich. I'll cut the crust off. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Whatever he does, just go on here. Got some moccasins for you to wear. You'll be comfortable.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll lend them all 17 of my blow dryers and whatever he needs. Yeah.
No, I was talking to Bubbles yesterday, and Bubbles is let's say a recluse of sorts.
Yeah. This make a difference to him. So.
Well, no. The thing is, he lives in a studio apartment.
Yeah.
And he said it is now a cell. Is what it's become.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So,
all the dispensaries are just doing deliveries now, so I got to see who wants to come over.
Yeah. So he, and he doesn't have like Netflix or any kind of internet connection or anything like that.
I know. It's horrible. He has nothing. So it is a cell.
But he does go running 3 times a week. So he does.
Okay, that's good.
He does do that. He does get out of the house. But I mean, geez. I mean, now in your situation, what kind of a place do you have?
I have a 1-bedroom, and it's not a cell. I got the cats to keep me company. They're like little circus performers. They're fun.
Yeah.
And it's just me and the babies. And if I have to go out, I go out. If I want to get a meal or go to the store, so I'm going out. Fuck it. So I'm 64. If it strikes me down, I've lived long enough, man. I've seen enough. I thought Jimi Hendrix. You can kill me now.
I'm 80, and there's a gun to my head. So.
There you go. Look out!
And
once it starts hurting,
Here's the worst part about it. I just found out today. I have to go to the hospital next Friday for a CT scan. Well, I had those seeds implanted, right? The prostate.
Oh yeah,
seeds.
Yeah, the seeds.
And I have to go have a CT scan so the doctor can see that they're just working just like he expected they would work. It's just purely. It's not even diagnostic. It's just for his edification to make sure that everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And you have to do that a month after you have the procedure. So I have to go over to Mount Sinai Hospital, which, if you want to talk about New York being ground zero, the epicenter has got to be.
Yep. Oh yeah, man. Hospitals are breeding grounds, especially in New York, where it's really horrible.
Well, I asked the nurse today who called me about it. I said, I'd prefer to put it off because of what's going on, and she said, well, you're pretty safe. She said, we're in a different area of the hospital. We're our own little unit that does radiation. Yeah. And, you shouldn't worry about, being compromised. So
don't worry, Mr. Warhol. It's only minor surgery.
Exactly. Yeah, don't worry, Mr. Henson. You're just going to the hospital for a day or two.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll be out It'll be out there regularly.
Yeah.
In a bag.
Yeah.
Well, I had two routine doctor's appointments this week, and I canceled them. I just looked, and they were very cool. They understood. So I said, because I don't want to be in a room full of sick people if I'm not really sick myself. So
right.
When this is over, I'll come back. But or if I keel over, bring me there. But no, I'm staying inside a lot, but not all the time. Yeah. I still got to go out. I got to get some fresh air. I got to shop. I got to do this and that. So, but just gigs are canceled and there's no nightlife and there's nothing to do. So
Yeah. So it's got to be daunting for you, But
yeah, people are slowly going mad. Yeah.
You're not getting any work, so it's like being back in the Bay Area again.
Yeah, it is like being in San Francisco all over again.
Yeah.
And this time around, so nothing going on, so zero.
And your lady is where? Where's your lady right now?
She's in California. She's renting a room in California because the air here kills her. Yeah. So ain't that a weird situation? Ain't that crazy?
I thought desert air was good air.
I don't know. Tell that to her lungs. Every time she came here, she ended up in the emergency ward because she couldn't breathe. And me, I'm strong like bull. I get along anywhere.
Yeah.
You put me in Romania, I would thrive. But no, I'm staying here. So I love it here.
Yeah.
So it's where the action is. So it's what it is right now.
Now, do you talk to any other people about this that you know? I mean, I guess you're on the
internet, on Facebook, everybody's going through it. So
yeah,
and it's what it is. You just got to follow the rules at least to an extent. So I'm not tongue kissing strangers on the street or licking doorknobs anymore. So, that's out for now.
I have not left. I have not left the house in. Well, I went out for a few moments twice over the last 2.5 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
But I have this huge apartment. I have 2,500 square feet, so I don't.
Yeah.
And even I'm getting cabin fever. I mean, I know that sounds strange. I have high ceilings and everything.
Oh no, yeah, everyone's getting it. I was getting it too. So
Yeah.
Oof.
I
had a friend whose car broke down yesterday, and I went out and gave her a lift and took her, helped her get her car towed and everything, and that felt great just to get out. That was a not great circumstance.
Well, of course,
at least I get to go outside. So yeah.
Las Vegas hasn't been hit hard by this, have they?
Not yet, except business-wise. There have been some deaths and have so and so. How many people? X amount of people have it, but I don't want to remember the number. But most of them don't, and but nobody's doing anything.
Well, we've had over
bad for people who saved all year to come out here at this time of year, and they can't come out. So
we've had over 1,000 this year in New York alone. This
excuse
me, not this year, but right now. So I mean, it's getting there, and
yep, yeah, it'll probably get worse before it gets better. So get ready.
Well, I mean, if everybody in the country were to hunker down, this thing would, this thing would be a problem, but it would be mitigated. But the fact is, there are certain states that aren't even doing anything about it. Florida is insane, and Wisconsin is going to hold their primaries.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
It's a matter that if every state in the country were to lock down, we could probably kill this thing pretty fast. But that's not going to happen. Nice. And so, therefore, what's happening in New York is terrible, but it's going to be getting worse, So, what have you, I'm upset by it, and I'm worried by it because I'm 80 years old, right?
Yeah,
and I just was operated on. I don't know if that compromises me particularly. Who knows? The radiation may kill it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But still,
well, you just got to deal with it, and hopefully it'll pass. Before the summer anyway. But who the fuck knows?
I'm not usually.
It could be the end of days. I don't know.
I'm not usually fearful about stuff like this. I mean, my attitude during flu season is, well, I take the flu shot, but if I get the flu, I get the flu, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the case. That's not the case at all here.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Some fucking asshole eats a bat. We're all paying for it. Jesus.
Yeah. What was it? Bobby Slayton said, Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off a bat years ago, and everybody made fun of him. And now somebody in China decides to have bat soup, and we're all dying like flies.
Amazing. Well, that's Ozzy Osbourne isn't immune to this thing, so you don't have to worry.
I imagine.
He'll be the last man on Earth. That would be great.
Oh, wouldn't that?
That would be justice. The last man on Earth is Ozzy Osbourne.
That'd be an interesting science fiction movie. Ozzy Osbourne, the last man on Earth. Oh, my God.
Well, everybody also understand,
Yeah. So far, none of your rock idols are dying of this, so that's good.
Yeah. Oh, they said John Prine has it, and who was some other singer? I forget who. It's just how
we lost some country singer who I never heard of.
Porter Haggard, or was it Dottie Tammy? I don't know.
Dottie Tammy. Dottie Tammy, I think it was. But we lost that. But you see, all these people. Here's the thing: you look at the people who are dying of it. They're all obese or have diabetes. They say if you have diabetes, you have the worst
conditions. Probably don't help. So
yeah, I mean, all I have is a little touch of the prostate cancer.
Yeah, all I got is pink eye. So yeah.
All you got is pink eye, right? So, well, if you have pink eye, that may be a sign that you have the coronavirus. Believe it or not.
There you go.
Yeah, they say that. I don't know. You hear so much stuff. I don't believe anything I hear. So
nope. Fake news. Everything is fake news. It's all bullshit.
Everything is fake news. And how do you think our president's handling it?
Well, first I thought it was a hoax from the Democrats. Then I thought, a Band-Aid could cure it, and I invested in the Curad company. I don't know. Just I'll give it to the eggheads.
Yeah.
I don't know. What can he do about it? What can anybody do about it? Whoever the president was.
Well,
you just get the top scientists and doctors on it and let them cure it.
You can make people feel a little better. You can make them feel better.
Yeah, if you have like a Roosevelt an FDR who could comfort people, but this guy is not FDR. So
right. So
yesterday, December 7th, blah blah blah. Roosevelt's telling us about it, so it must be okay.
So otherwise, you're feeling okay. You're not,
So far, I'm okay. So knock on wood. And knock on Formica. So
something. You would love New York right now. Remember how it used to be the city that never sleeps?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's snoring. It's snoring.
It's in a coma right now.
Yeah.
It reminds me. There was a movie in the '50s called "The World, the Flesh, and the Devil."
Yes.
With Harry Belafonte, where the whole world ends, and him and two other people, the only ones left on Earth.
Yeah.
And all these scenes in New York with nothing in it, nobody. Like,
and the only way they could shoot it to make it look like there was nobody in New York was from the ground up. They couldn't show the...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Couldn't show the ground or film it at like 4 a.m. or something.
Well, that's what they would do when they would want to do these apocalyptic films about New York, and they would want to have like Times Square empty. They would do it on like Sunday morning at 5 o'clock in the morning when the sun had just come up, and they could kind of block it all off, and nobody would be bothered by it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Just as soon as the sun comes up, start filming. Come on, keep filming. We're gaining daylight.
Little did I know they would eventually block it off anyway. Okay, because now it's just nothing but people sitting at tables having their lattes. Times Square is not the Times Square you once knew. Hey, we've run out of time.
Those 15 minutes goes quick, I tell you.
15 minutes goes by like
like 7.5 twice. It's amazing.
Hey, listen, stay safe, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks, okay?
You too, my friends. See you in a couple of weeks. Stay good and stay away from those germs.
Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely and attractive Stephen Pearl.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
And here I am, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I would wear this hat. I think, who sent this to me? I think this was sent to me by Tony, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe not. No, I remember I bought this with the guy who owned the Moonlight Bunny Ranch, Dennis Hoff. He took me down to a hat store, and I bought a whole bunch of hats, and this was one of the hats that I bought. It's not a bad lid. Girlfriend said it makes me look like an old man in Miami. And I said, well, I'm an old man. The only difference is I'm not in Miami. Okay, so let's see here. What do we got? Let me see here. Let me do this, okay? The coronavirus update. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, all righty. And let me see here. Let me do this. And there's the coronavirus. Oh, look. Look at what we've got here, folks. Yes, we've hit over 1 million on the face of the earth who have had the coronavirus, of which 53,030 are not here any longer. That's pretty amazing. That's a pretty amazing toll. And what's it in the United States? 245,000 people. That's almost a quarter of the earth, of the rest of the earth. We've got 245,000. The earth has about a million. That would be 1/4 of one out of every 4 people in the world who has the coronavirus live here in the United States. Don't tell us we aren't the best place on earth, right? Boy, it's amazing. U.S., 5,949 deaths out of 245,000 confirmed. That's actually a pretty good percentage, to tell you the damn truth, compared to a lot of other countries. Because if you go over to Italy, you got 115,000 people who have the virus, but you had 13,000 deaths. So, that beats out the U.S., which has 5,000. They've got like almost 2.5 times with a great deal less. So we haven't seen our death toll mount all the way. So that's the way it is. But I just want you to look at the map. There we go. It's just, and it doesn't get any better, folks. The news doesn't get any better. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm in that what do we call it? Let me fix a few things here. I'm in that group that can really be in trouble. So anyway, that's what goes. Let me see here. Let me get the thing going here. The thing. I'm starting to sound like Trump. Let's get the program going here, and let me turn on the Skype thing that we've got. That's a Skype thing that we've got. And watch, everybody will start gangbanging me again tonight, and then I'll spend the first 15 minutes of the program just trying to get people on. Anyway, I will now turn on the green light. There we go. We're active now. Now you see we're active, and let's now wait and see if anybody calls me. Because I have some things to talk about, but I'm waiting till I have some people here to talk about them with me. Did I go on earlier than I usually do? No. I'm getting, maybe it's the hat. Maybe that's why they're not calling tonight. Let me see. I'm on. Yeah, that's working, and we're going out. And everything. Oh, here we go. Here comes Rob Alfano. I can always trust Rob to call us. And he was in the number 1 position last night, and guess what? He's in the number 1 position again tonight.
I am honored.
And then we go here to
Jeff. Jeff, let me see if he pops up. Yeah, there he is. And was he anywhere on the first page last night? No. Charlene Martinez is calling. Oh, I got to do all of these now. Everybody's calling me very quickly. Let me see here. Here comes Charlie Wallace. And Phil Meyer is calling, but I can't see.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, but somebody's got their phone on. They got their audio on. Okay, let me just start getting some people in here. Well, we have Charlie there, so we don't need to worry about Charlie now. We'll get. Let's see here. This is, I believe, this is. What's his? Let me see here. Yeah, it's Jeff. Okay, and then we go here, and we go to the fourth spot, and we will get. Let me see here. In the fourth spot, we'll get. Let me see here. I got to look here. Oh yeah, here's Charlene. Okay, is that it? Okay, and 5 and 6. Wait a minute, 5 and 6. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, now I can go. There we go. Hello, everybody. How are you this evening? How you all doing? Are you
coronavirus free?
The coronavirus free. I'm coronavirus free. What happened, however, is that I told them at Mount Sinai. They said, well, if you don't feel comfortable about coming here, then just get the blood test. Go to your local lab and get the blood test. And I figured of the two choices, one was getting in a lift car, which could be full of germs, okay, and then going to Mount Sinai, which we know is a petri dish, okay, and then getting it all done there, the CT scan and whatever. And she said, we can wait on the CT scan for 3 months. Just go to your local lab and get the blood test. And I said, well, send me a script and I'll go get the blood test. And the Quest is like down on 125th. It's like 8 blocks away. And if I walk, I can avoid people, you know? And then when I get there, I know the place and I can actually probably walk up to the second floor. And if I do it at like before 9:30 in the morning, make an appointment before 9:30 in the morning, if you're 60 and over, because you're considered greater risk, they will have special precautions for you when you get there. So I figure it's safe to go, wouldn't you say? You know. But now here's the thing, okay? And I don't know if they're still there, but there are 2 cops on my floor. One is sitting in the stairwell and the other one is standing there. And the cops and the firemen have been here all day long, on and off. And finally, what we got was happening is our next door neighbor, they were waiting on an ambulance for our next door neighbor. And I think it was she, because they were talking about arthritis and things like this, which were the things that she had going for her that we know because we talk with her all the time. And they were here this morning. When I woke up at 10 this morning, they were there, and then they left, and then they came back, and then they left, and they came back. And I go out there tonight at about 9 o'clock to take the garbage out, and they're still there. And I said, you're still here? And they said, yeah. I said, are you still waiting for an ambulance? And they went, yep. But that seems to tell me that if you want to, yes, Charlie.
What? I know somebody personally who died from.
Really?
Yes, my sister's best friend. We've known for 50 years. Just passed away in Chicago.
Oh boy. Oh boy. In Chicago?
Yeah. My sister lived in Chicago.
Wow, that's not good. Boy, is that a problem. Yeah, let me see here. Bree. Oh, here comes Tony Magno, too. We got Bree. I got a Bree Free would be his thing. If I can find him. I can't find him. Oh, well. I'm going to cancel. and then go back
By the
in.
time this is over, we're all going to know somebody personally that died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I worry most about myself and Marjorie. And it may be what? Oh, here, that's a problem. Okay, and then who else? Oh, Tony. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. What is that rumbling that we're getting?
Sounds like outdoor air.
Yeah, webhead. Okay,
or fan.
There we go.
I have a fan.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, and okay, now we have all those people, and we don't have Phil yet. He tried to call, and then something happened. I don't know. But anyway, by the way, I'm having some problems today, so if I have to run off to the bathroom, Rob, you're in charge.
Okay. We'll talk.
Huh?
We'll talk.
We'll talk. Yeah.
Yeah. If we had Zoom, he could be in charge.
Let me see here. I just want to make sure that everybody. No,
my company just gave us Zoom accounts.
Yeah. Number one, I can't use Zoom on this program because it won't work with the switcher that I have. And the switcher I have, it looks great and it works fine, and I don't think there's been any problem really with Skype. And I know people are using Zoom, but they're not using it like I have to use it, and that would be impossible. So that's why I'm doing it this way. I tried Zoom today, and I tried to figure out how to use it, and I couldn't figure it out. I know. You just gave me a look.
The switcher and everything. I downloaded that OBF, whatever.
OBS. Yeah.
And I looked at that and I went, yeah, right. I might be able to figure that out. And you can't. Zoom is easy.
Well, no. Wait a minute. OBS. We're talking about two different things here, though.
No, I'm just saying. You said you couldn't figure out Zoom, but you could figure out OBS.
No, I said no. I said
much more difficult.
Yeah. No, what I was talking about. Oh, wait a minute. I see. Hold on a second. I got to change something here. This is just.
OBS came up in one of our meetings yesterday, and because Alex uses it, I was able to respond that I was aware of the software and what it could do, although I can't operate it, but I know what it does. They want to use it. They're going to start using it for some webinars here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I'm sure it's good for that kind of thing, right? And that's fine, but I don't need it. All right. So I'm having to fix something.
No, they're going to use OBS together with Zoom to do webinars.
Yeah. Well, you can't use it with OBS. There's no way there's no dongle or whatever to do it. OBS is in case people wonder what we're talking about, OBS is a switcher. It's a thing that allows me to do things like this, okay? See, I just changed it. It's a switcher more than it is anything else, all right? That's what it does. Then there is Skype, which is the way we communicate with each other. Now, there is some way I have to get these pictures into OBS. And there's a program made by NewTek, company I used to work for, called NDI. And each of these different pictures you see is a different NDI picture. And I simply, when you hear me going, now which one is so-and-so, and I'll put him in the first spot, it's that I have each of these spots available. And then I go in and I look for the caller, and I put him in that slot, and his picture comes up. But it's two entirely different things. Did
you just figure all that out on your own, or did you have like a tutorial how did you learn all that?
Well, I learned it by a couple of ways. Number one, hit and miss. Since I've been into video for years, I understand how a switcher basically works. Okay. But then when it came to all that NDI stuff and everything, I went online and I went and watched some YouTube videos. And I found YouTube was the best place to find out how to do this stuff, So it was very simple for me to suddenly decide, okay, I'll go on there and see if I can find it. And then I saw a tutorial that somebody did, or a video tutorial, where they show it to you and how it works and so on. And then it took me a while to get with the concept of how exactly it works. But eventually I learned that it was just every single person that calls becomes one of these different little windows that I have up here,
And then you just arrange them on a background.
Well, I did a template, okay? And I did a template that has 3, a template that has 6, a template that has 8, and a template that has 12, okay? And then I just simply, when I go to the next template, all the people I put in the template for 6 suddenly fold into the template for 8, and then I can add somebody to the 8. If any of that makes sense. For instance,
that's impressive. That's impressive that you could do that.
Ray is calling. Okay, Ray is calling. So what I do is let me see here. In the 8, I go to the 8th spot, and then I find Ray, who would be Goomba 61. There he is, and I put him in there, and then I make it so that he is there, and then I do the little transition, and there you see him. Okay.
So your Skype on your screen, each of us is our own little window with a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. On when we're doing the show and the OBS, I also have a regular Skype screen here, so I see you on a regular Skype screen. Before, I used to just have, in the old days, all I did was take the Skype screen and put it on the air. But then Skype got pissy and changed to the new Skype, and I had to use this. I found this other program that's free, oddly enough, that will allow me to put all these things in their place. So that's the way we do it. Isn't that interesting, folks? Now you know how they kill the cow. So. But no, I figured that. Yeah, I did figure that out on my own. I feel real good about that.
I looked at it and went, yeah.
Not easy.
I was just for the hell of it. I wanted to see it.
Well, if you played with it for a while, put your camera in there, and then put in maybe some kind of visual or whatever. You'll learn. It's really pretty simple. You've run TV switchers before, right?
Yeah.
It's basically the same.
But
thing.
I never wired it. I mean, I know how to. I operated a switcher, but I never wired a switcher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
About OBS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's once you figure it out, it's great.
Yeah.
You used it too?
I've used it, yeah.
And the funny part about it is, it's probably the best switcher out there, and there are other switchers that'll cost you a fortune, But somehow this is like one of those, bunch of gearheads who get together and decide, oh, let's build a program.
You know what my son found that's incredible? My wife has to do she teaches exercise classes to cardiac patients. She has to do, so we set her up a studio here, and she didn't have a soundboard, and the sound was getting screwed up between the music and her voice. So he found an online mixer. It's a software. It's a mixer, just like a hardware one, and it works great. I mean, it's just like it works just like the hardware mixer.
I mean, people say, how do I switch a program? How do I do video? I mean, I serve at the stream for YouTube through here. I am recording the show at the same time, it sends encodes the show and puts it out to a streamer to YouTube. And it's a great program, and it's free, and it keeps getting improved because all these gearheads put in, when you have an open source program like this, they just keep adding to it and adding to it. There's even a version of it, like I'm trying to remember the name of it, where somebody just took OBS and added a whole bunch of stuff to it, and he calls it something else, but it's called OBS something, and it's for gamers. For people who want to put games on line, which is a big business. Because I don't know, when I was playing Tomb Raider, I would go to this guy, Rad Brad on YouTube, and he would show you how to get through the game. And you sit there and you say, to hell with me playing the game. I'm having fun watching him play it. You know,
that's what the Twitch. What is it? Twitch.
Twitch is the home for people who want to do that kind of stuff, or you can put it up on YouTube. You know.
Yeah, and I think almost all of them use OBS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, now it seems when it comes to a group discussion thing, that Zoom is incredibly popular, and I think it's incredibly popular because it's supposedly easy to use. I don't know. If I had somebody I could do it with, I was almost going to get a hold of Phil and test it out with him. But what you have to do is you have to invite people to your conference. And so in the way I do this show, you call me, and when anybody calls, it gets picked up. And I don't, if Bree doesn't want to call tonight, I don't have to send out an invitation to all you people in order to get you to come and call the program. So Zoom doesn't work for me in this format. Okay. Yes, Ray.
Yeah. So, for you, it's not the greatest because people can't just join. But technically, I've been using it a lot because of this thing. I'm on this virtual play that we're rehearsing, and it's so much better than Skype. You don't get this problem with people talking over each other and people canceling each other out and all this.
Well, I mean, I wish I could.
It's not the best.
I looked up today I typed it in, using OBS with Zoom. And nothing came up except one guy who showed you how to do it by just somehow taking the picture off the screen and putting it on here. And that's not exactly how I want to do it. I like the way you have to admit, the way I do it, it looks great. It looks terrific. It looks far better than any of the incarnations of this program that we've had in the past. But Zoom, I can't do it until somebody comes up with a way of maybe taking each Zoom call and letting me do what I do here by placing them where I want to. Hi, Phil.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing tonight?
I was watching Pearl tonight. He was doing another one of those Tony Bennett's hands, and he does that on Facebook, something. Can you feed that kind of thing into OBS and then put it onto your 15-minute sketch? So you got actually him live, or not live, but
yeah, I guess sure I could. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he doesn't use Skype, but he's got a phone with a camera in it, and it seems to work.
Well, I'm going to see if I can maybe if he has the ability to use Skype, I'm going to start talking to him about seeing him rather than talking to him.
Does he have an iPhone?
Yeah, he must, because I see his Facebook things. He does videos.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's doing them.
No, it's just him in his hand.
Oh well, I don't know.
If he has an iPhone, you could FaceTime him.
I don't know if it's an iPhone, but he's using something that has video. Here,
no, I don't want to. Just send me the link and I'll watch it.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, all of this. I'm amazed that I was able to navigate this technology. But anyway, as I was saying earlier, I don't know if the two cops are still out there, but they've been waiting all day for an ambulance for this woman.
Oh.
And
the cops won't do CPR, or even EMTs won't do CPR anymore. They will only transport because of the virus.
Yeah, you've got it all wrong.
I just saw it on the news.
You got it all wrong.
No, it was an EMT guy.
You heard it all wrong.
He said he wouldn't
If
do
the
it.
person is still breathing, okay, has a pulse, they call the ambulance and take them to the hospital. If they're told if they don't have a pulse, don't bring them to the hospital.
Oh, no, this had to do with CPR.
CPR, they're told to use CPR or whatever they can do to revive the person. But if they don't get revived,
don't bring them to the hospital. In other words, don't call an ambulance. I don't know what you do. Maybe you let the dead body just lie there, at home.
Is it very contagious when it's dead?
I would imagine if it's contagious on a table, on a tabletop or a doorknob, why wouldn't it be contagious when somebody's dead?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not a virologist, and neither is Phil, so he doesn't know either.
You'd have to touch him.
Well, he'd have to sneeze.
Alex, it must. It must be contagious, and I'll tell you why. My niece's assistant principal passed away, 42, and they can't even have a funeral. They can't even the family. They gotta bury them right away. So I wonder if they are contagious, or I don't know, or they don't know enough.
Their attendees don't expose one another.
Yeah, that's what happened in Georgia. Somebody attended the funeral that had it, who was alive and had it, and spread it to everybody at the funeral.
Oh, wow.
The dead
I don't know enough about it, but
the dead person is way less contagious because they're not expelling air.
Yeah.
They're not breathing. They're not spitting.
Yeah, there's no droplets coming out. There's nothing.
Well, I mean, the good news is at least that here in the U.S., we have 245,000 people that have it, but we only have about 6,000 that died from it. And that's a very low percentage if you think about it,
Yeah.
We got to do better. We got to do better.
We got to do better. Yes. Pick up the slack, folks.
Yeah.
I think in New York now, the mayor has dictated that if you walk on the street, you got to be wearing something in front of your face. If you don't have a mask, make one. But that's going to be the rule as well. I wouldn't think about going out there. Listen, today I went down because UPS had a package and they left it at the front door, not inside the lobby, but the front door, even though the door was open. Okay, and so I went down and got the box, and then I grabbed the box and brought it upstairs. I put gloves on before I went down. And then I brought it upstairs, and then I opened the box with the gloves, and then I took the box and I put it by the door where I could later throw it away. I took the stuff that was out of the box because I was told that whatever's in the box does not get the contagion. The outside could possibly get something. And then I washed my hands. I washed my hands with the gloves on so I could clean the gloves. Then I took the gloves off, and then I washed my hands, and then if I had an autoclave, I would stick my hands in the autoclave. There's a Jerry Lewis word for you, by the way. Autoclave. Anyway.
Autoclave.
Yeah. But
the guy from L.A. last night, he did such a good Jerry Lewis with the tongue. His tongue almost touched the table. It was so good.
Who is this?
The guy from the editor from L.A.
Oh yeah.
He's the one that did that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was the best.
Autoclave. Anyway, so and that's that's what I did. I also, because of what was going on next door, I wanted to make sure that I, had the gloves on because who knows who was pushing the buttons, So, I mean, I'm really close to somebody who's got it, who I'm sure that's what this is all about. I don't think it's some other medical condition, although it might be, for all we know.
Maybe the people they're waiting for didn't pay their rent, and the landlord was...
the landlord's sitting out there right now waiting to rent the place, I mean... but no, it could be. Look, I think about... Here's what I worry about. Okay, I worry about a lot of things, but I worry about this, and that is I get sick with something. Let's say I got a hernia. Let's say it goes really bad on me, and now I need to get to a hospital. I need to get to a hospital in the middle of all of this. Do you think they're really even going to care about my goddamn hernia?
You go to Central Park, they'll treat you. They've got the bed set up.
The Central Park is for coronavirus patients.
I thought it was the other way around.
The outside one, I think, the tents. It was the what do you call it? The Javits Center was for corona patients. But I heard Trump say, well, they can go to, we're setting that up for corona patients. And I'm going, oh, you moron. You don't know what you're talking about because that one's not for corona patients. And then it turns out that they've decided that they're going to send some COVID-19 patients over there as well. So.
And then if you want the best hospital, you got to go to Trump Memorial. Trump Memorial, you'll get the service you deserve.
Yeah.
You deserve. There you go. That's the operative word.
Right. By the way, you should mention that it is a subsidiary of Trump University. So that's
where they graduate their doctors from.
Yeah, right.
They fell. Did you hear what the caravan was coming, but they turned around and went the other way?
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
You know what they said? They got the plague. I'm going back home.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is, I'll tell you the one thing I told you how it was so dead quiet in the city. You could hear a pin drop, and this town usually is, there's this constant rumble in the city that after a while you don't even hear anymore. It's kind of like background noise, it's like white noise. But there isn't that out there. It is dead quiet except for one thing, a preponderance of sirens.
Well, I hear fire engines by my house, Alex.
Well, those aren't fire engines. Those are ambulances. Ambulances.
Because I hear a lot going by me.
The ambulances.
That's what I remember from 9/11. Those days after 9/11, there was silence in the city except the sirens and the black SUVs flying down the streets of the city.
Yeah. I wasn't here for that.
Oh no.
But I'll tell you. They're and they brought a lot of ambulances into this town. They've got just a whole cordon. But look, here's this woman. I don't know what's wrong with her. I don't know if it's one of the conditions she's had already, or a pre-existing condition she's had already, or whether she's got COVID. And but for whatever reason, they put in for an ambulance about noon today, and an ambulance isn't here yet. Or maybe it is while I'm doing the show.
But neighbor of yours who's very ill?
Yes. Obviously, there are two cops standing out there. They've been standing out there all day.
I wasn't listening before. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
she had coffee and donuts.
Yeah. So I just, and he works at Sloan Kettering.
Oh, he does?
So it could be. Who knows? He brought it home. You don't know.
It's scary. It's almost like... It's just, I've never seen anything like this before. how can you,
No, you haven't seen anything like this before. If you had been here in 1917, 1918, you would have seen it. Much worse, but then also at a time when we didn't have antibiotics and we didn't have all the kind of medicine that we have, and nobody ever heard of a respirator, So these people they buried them in mass graves. They were dying so fast. We lost. They say the conservative estimate was 50 million people.
I thought it was a quarter of the world's population.
Something like that. Yeah. But it might have been as high as 200 million. It's hard for them to know for sure. But it was so bad, the war stopped for a while everybody got well.
How do you start up after that? Where were we?
Let's kill each other.
You know what I mean? It's like you stop for this, and now you got to start again. Where were we?
Well, yeah, where were we?
Knife in my back. Let's go.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's like a game,
Yeah. Oh, where do we leave off? Yeah.
Where do we leave off?
Crazy. I know. Can't they just make up?
Let me remember. You were in that trench, and I was in this trench.
Everybody get started. Wait.
Get out of my hole.
Wait. Don't rush it. Wait till you hear the whistle.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what the biggest disease was to come out of that war was trench mouth, which, yeah. And why do you think they call it trench mouth?
Interesting.
Yeah. But
they're in the trenches.
Yeah. So it's we've handled this rather poorly, I think, from the beginning.
Yeah.
We did not get ahead of it when it first reared its ugly head, and now we're paying the price for it, and everybody's trying to play catch up. and a lot of people are dying in the process. Meanwhile, you look at South Korea, and the minute they saw what was happening in China, they quarantined everybody. Everybody indoors.
They should have followed that mold. What South Korea did.
Well, the thing is, the Americans are pretty selfish. I don't know if anybody would disagree with that. And they want all their freedoms. They want to be able to go out and do stuff. They don't want to be told to stay home. Oh, I don't want to wear a mask. I don't want to do social distancing. What is that all about? And then of course you got this moron as a president who sits there and helps foster the misconceptions about it. Oh, it'll all be okay. It's just a bad cold. So with all those things, we never got around to doing anything about it. Now that he's playing catch up, he's trying to act like he's the hero of the beach. Oh, I'm putting the Javits Center together. No, he isn't. That was Cuomo's doing, right? So it's getting crazy. It's just getting crazy. And I just wish we had a president who knew how to take the blame for something. And say, yeah, it was my fault, but now let's do what we can do to fix it. And he's doing a couple of good things. I think the bailout, the way they're bailing it out and trying to get businesses to keep people hired is a pretty good plan. I don't think it's a bad one. I like the one fact I heard from my accountant today was, I just put in for it, and you and Marjorie are getting $2,400. So, we'll get that check. That'll be nice. And then that goes right back to my accountant to pay him for working for me for this year. But the point is that they did the thing about small businesses. If they keep their people on, they can take out a small business loan, which will not need to be repaid. The government will back it. Things like that, which I think is pretty good. They're handling the economic part of it. But the fact that we have to do the economic part is because we never took care of the rest of it. Yes, Bree?
Yeah, I would like for everybody to report when and if you do get your stimulus checks, because I'm going to be watching and waiting for mine. I'm not quite sure how much I'm getting. There's been some different reports, but they claim that if you filed last year and you give them your bank account number for direct deposit, that they're just going to use that.
Yeah, you'll get $1,200. You'll get $1,200. Is your wife your wife is an American, right?
She's not. That's what's interesting. She was a permanent resident and has a Social Security number, and I do file jointly our taxes.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, and we have a daughter, so it could be as much as $2,900.
Yeah, what were you saying, Jeff?
I think he's going to get it because of that.
Yeah.
For his wife.
Yeah.
We definitely need it.
And I'm suggesting that everybody, if they get their $1,200 check and you don't need it, send it to the Biden campaign.
I haven't heard from him at all. Is he still running?
Who?
Biden is still running or something. I haven't.
Yeah, he's in the lead, but
the only thing I saw was Tucker Carlson on a podcast said, absolutely, it will not be Biden 100%. He said that he has sources claiming that Biden won't make it to the convention.
Really?
Like he's mentally unfit or something.
I have Fox News is playing games again, I guess, because I have a friend tonight that said to me, he's senile.
Who?
Biden is senile. Any more than Trump is senile? That's what I said to my friend.
Oh, Trump lately can't get out a whole sentence, even if he's reading it.
And Alex, he repeats the thing like he was today. The bands. They got nice bands. I don't think he's intelligent, really.
Well, what he does is he has a written script, and then it says something like the bands, and then he looks out and wants to look like he's not reading it, so he goes, "Yes, the bands, definitely the bands," and then he goes back to the script. Yes, Phil.
Yeah, I did all the paperwork today. I have to send it in after midnight, but I did all the paperwork for the payroll. They call it the PPP or payroll something.
It's the PP. It's the PP.
Yeah, PP. So I qualify for $52,000.
Okay.
For payroll assistance, so it'll pay The rent, it's based on 2.5 months of your average payroll for 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So my payroll's somewhere in the 20-something thousand a month mark.
Yeah.
So, or my W-2 payroll. And
now, don't you wish you weren't that cheap? Go ahead.
Anyway, after midnight, I'm able to get on a link and put that application in. But today I spent time getting all the payroll quarters of payroll taxes and the returns and the corporate return and stuff like that. And I went to the bank. I gave them all the hard copy and. So this will be good because I can get reimbursed for the money that I pay the employees to keep them going.
Yeah, well, that's I was saying that they're doing something right, but they're doing something they have to do because they didn't do their homework earlier.
To keep it going is I can spend 25% of the money on up to 25% of the money on non-payroll like rent, and then the rest of it has to go to payroll. And any that I don't do to that, I don't get the grant. I don't get it forgiven.
Yeah. Ray, you had your hand up?
Just before this, I was in the middle of filing for unemployment and disability. And the site goes down from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. every night.
Really?
For maintenance, yeah. That's why you have to wait till after midnight.
Hey, Ray, you got a future in floor covering sales.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on up.
He'll pay you right now. He's getting money to do that.
He's got free money.
If I don't spend it, I don't.
I have a slight breathing problem, but it's my allergies. Because I don't have a temperature. I've been taking it all day, and it's like I think maybe I'm dead. It's like it's 97.5 all day today.
I'll
be right back.
Charlene.
Yes, Charlene.
No audio, Charlene.
No audio, Charlene.
You're on secret.
That's elbow. She's giving you the elbow.
Yeah.
No audio.
Charlene, are you gonna?
Hear me now?
There you go. There you
Now
go.
you're on.
There you go. Okay.
Now you're off.
Now, what were you gonna say, Charlene?
You forgot?
What happened to her?
She's got no audio.
Well, she had it there for a second.
Yeah, I think that there's a bad plug on that thing. I think you're right about that last night. You said that it's either not plugged in or I think she's got just a bad plug.
Yeah. Like you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I got good plugs. That's all that's left is the plugs.
Apparently, you even lose plugs, don't you?
No, actually, they only put in 3,500 of them. I couldn't give up that much. And so, it's
they get him from your ass?
Huh?
They get him from your ass?
Back of the head.
Oh, I thought they take
Now there's a way to get the plugs without having to cut a hunk of your skin out across between both ears.
You really must have not wanted to be bald to go through that pain.
Yeah, well, at the time.
At the time. He thought it would get him laid, but he was sadly mistaken. I gotta find my. Where's my?
How long did it last?
Disappeared.
I had it done in 2000.
I'm feeling wheezy right now. Every time I have a little trouble breathing or have a little, from the because everything is in bloom out there. I found that out for the first time the other day, and there we go.
Is that what you tell people when you sneeze in the elevator?
What? No. But I have. I've always had allergies. Always had like asthma from, pollen and so on, and so I did this, and I take this stuff every now and then. It kind of helps, but I've been using it so long it doesn't work anymore. Can you talk now, Charlene, or have you fixed it yet?
No.
No.
Still silent.
No. Well, we had you there for a second. You clicked on something. Do you have a switch on there? Do you have a switch on that headphone?
No.
There you go. We just heard you.
Worked.
We just heard you. And now we didn't hear her again.
I have some professional grade microphones here I've been thinking of using, but Everybody tells me they can hear me pretty well anyway.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. 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 It's, yeah. So anyway, I wish there were other things to talk about, but there really is nothing to talk about. I mean, this is the big story. I kept thinking today as I was watching like MSNBC and
Can't talk about.
Huh? What'd you say, Charlie? Charlie, did you just say something?
He's having problems.
I said we can't talk about sports. There's no sports to talk about.
No, and every night they still go to the sports guy on Channel 4, and I can't figure out why.
I keep his chops up. Hey, there was some guy, a 19-year-old kid in Texas, went to a Sam's Club and knifed an Asian family.
Yeah.
It's a hate crime. I'm wondering if we're going to see more.
What I'm waiting for is, look, there's only so much people can take being indoors.
Gonna crack
before they start cracking,
Oh yeah, last night people were cracking around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my neighbors had a blowout party.
Really?
They were drinking and laughing, and oh boy. And it's absolutely, you can't do it. It's not allowed. But they did it because people are going to go crazy,
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see in Turkmenistan, the ruler has outlawed the use of the term coronavirus or COVID-19.
Why?
You cannot use it. They took it out of all the hospitals, all the pamphlets.
What do you call it?
Legislate it and it'll go away.
Can't use it. Look it up. Turkmenistan. Use of the term coronavirus.
Well, they call it the China virus there.
Let me see here. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me.
I didn't even know there was a country named Turkmenistan or whatever.
Country?
Well, Turkmenistan. Where is? Let me see. Is it on here
it's
at all?
It's a funny country. I think they've had 2 leaders in the past 20 years or whatever since they broke off from the Soviet Union. And the previous guy was very funny. They had an ice hotel, and
yeah,
there were a lot of stories. If you just look back historically, you could always get a kick out of the news from Turkmenistan.
Trying to see if Turkmenistan is even on here.
We also had here, I don't know if you heard, the big news from Malaysia was that there was a division in the Malaysian government that put out flyers and pamphlets that told wives, wear makeup during the lockdown and don't nag your husbands.
Yeah, really? That's good. It's good advice. What is all this noise that we're hearing now?
Oh, it was me.
Oh, okay. Well, you're working now.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, well, whatever. Thank God.
Oh. Anyway, I can't find the country you were talking about here. Oh wait, no, there's Tunisia, Andorra, Kazakhstan, Bosnia, Herzegovina. I wish they'd pick one name or the other, Let me see here. Croatia. No, I don't see it anywhere here. The great place to be is Iceland right now. Has, let me see here. Has, total confirmed. Hold on. There we go. 1,319, and they've only had 4 deaths. So that's a pretty good percentage. So that's one of the places to go. The best place on the face of the earth, though, is I think Greenland.
What about Antarctica?
Antarctica. I went and looked at Antarctica. There's absolutely nothing in Antarctica. It's the one place on the face of the earth that does not have the coronavirus. And it doesn't have it
I wonder which number of places are under lockdown and which are not. Like, for example, my friends in Singapore, it's business as usual. They have social distancing that they're practicing, but they can still go out. They can go to a restaurant or go to a movie or go to a seminar.
Yeah.
Go walk in the park.
Yeah.
We can't do that here.
Well, it's just better. What I was saying yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. I think that, if you're a patriotic American, then the way to be absolutely patriotic is to stay indoors.
That's right.
Do your bit to stem the virus. I went down to get that box and I was scared, right? I had the gloves on, I didn't put a mask on because I figured, I'm not going to bump into anybody. But then I was looking at it and thinking, well, I'm going up in the elevator. Suppose somebody wanted down in the elevator. Suppose somebody wants to get in on the third floor. There is not 6 feet difference in that elevator. So how can I keep my distance from them?
In my elevator, there was 2 people in it when I got home.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'll just wait for the next one. So I forgot to press the call button, and I'm standing there. Finally realized, the light's not on.
Phil, when you get a chance, give me a call. I'll tell you how to use elevators. It's not as difficult as it looks.
Yeah, well, when you're daydreaming, it is. But anyway, there was 2 people in there. My elevator's not that large, so I just let them go up, and I waited for the next one.
Yeah. But I think it's only a matter of time before people start cracking, going crazy.
Did you see that HBO is offering free streaming now, starting April 3rd?
Really?
Got to sign up, right?
It's called. The hashtag is what is it here? It's Stay Home Box Office.
Stay Home Box Office.
Yeah, and the promotion kicks off April 3rd, and it's going to include free streaming you can catch up on all these oldies but goodies if you haven't seen them. The Sopranos, Veep, movies like Pokemon Detective Pikachu, Smallfoot, the Lego Movie, Veep, True Blood, 6 Feet Under, Ballers, Silicon Valley. It's all going to be available.
Stay Home Box
for a limited time, starting on the 3rd, tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. Starting tomorrow, Ballers, Barry, Silicon Valley, 6 Feet Under, The Sopranos, Succession, True Blood. That's a lot of viewing you can do.
Seen most
Veep
of them.
and The Wire. But that's that's nice. That's good of them to do.
It is nice. Very nice.
Curb Your Enthusiasm's on HBO, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not listed here.
No.
Yeah. But I think you put HBO Now on your TV set or whatever, and that's how you get it. It says, my bosses want me to tell you that these series will be available to stream on HBO Now and HBO Go for free starting tomorrow. So I imagine they found a way that you can access those shows. If you're not a subscriber, maybe only those shows will show up.
Well, okay. I think the service actually hasn't launched yet. This is a brand new service that they're launching. It's called HBO Max.
Well,
until they launch it, they're probably limiting what you can see. That's probably how you can't see the new stuff because they haven't put it there for you to see.
Yeah.
Hey, who sneezed? Somebody sneezed a couple of seconds ago.
Oh, it was me. I coughed a little.
Yeah, well, don't you cover your face when you sneeze?
I did. I went like this. I know you're going to get a virtual coronavirus.
Yeah, there's a thing called box office television or something, Broadway television, where they have Broadway shows on this channel, and you can get
that would be nice.
Well, you can get that free for a month if you have Roku. You can do it for a month and then cancel them.
People are going crazy because really there's no sports to watch. There's nothing. And now we're going into the, the summer season where everything goes into reruns.
Yeah.
I got Fox News. I don't need that stuff.
Well, there are some funny things to watch. There's some good, very entertaining things like what I call the Trump Comedy Hour, which is on every night at about 5 o'clock. And it goes on for about 2 hours. And the theme of the show, it's a really great format. The format of the show is an endless procession of people kissing Trump's ass. So it's really, and you know something? The networks are so bored by it. These news networks are so bored by it. They say, we'll get back to it soon. But we have some other stuff to report. And then they maybe talk about and
they go to a commercial.
The ship captain who just got relieved from his job because he said, hey, we need some help here. These guys are getting coronavirus on the ship. And he wasn't supposed to say that.
It was an aircraft carrier.
Well, it's a ship. It floats.
Ship. Hey, do you see the similarities between the Trump thing and Gabnet? It goes for 2 hours, and everybody's kissing the guy's ass. Doesn't that sound like Gabnet?
No, because I'm not 2 hours anymore.
Well, that's
yeah.
Alex?
Yes, Charlene.
Alex?
Yes, Charlene.
Whatever happened with Harvey Weinstein? They never said whether he, really had coronavirus or whatever, right?
Right. Well, nobody cares. So
Right.
They're not letting him out of Rikers, right? They're not letting him out of Rikers.
I don't think he's in Rikers.
They're freeing murderers, but they're not going to let Weinstein.
But he's not in Rikers, I don't think.
No, they took him out. That's what they thought, that he just said it to get out of Rikers, right?
No, he. I don't think he was in Rikers. I think if he was there, it was as a halfway point till they put him in whatever prison they're going to put him in.
And now it delayed his sentencing in California or something.
Well, what they're thinking of doing here in New York is letting a lot of nonviolent offenders out of Rikers.
Out of Rikers,
yeah.
I heard they were letting murderers and all sorts of other stuff.
No. If you violent crime, no. But if you were nonviolent, yes.
That means the only people who will be left in prison are killers.
That's right. That's right.
We'll let one out.
It's going to be a dangerous place.
Yeah. Well, we had to know it was only a matter of time before some aircraft carrier got the coronavirus, and because like a passenger ship, if you want to talk about population density, there's nothing worse than a ship or a train.
And you were in the Navy,
or an
Alex,
airplane.
Right? So you know about that thing. You were on a ship, right, in the Navy or something?
Oh yeah. You're on top. You're sleeping on top of each other. You're in bunk beds.
In the Navy.
Yeah. No, it's So I mean, if anything was a petri dish for this sort of thing, it's that. And it's pretty sad. Pretty sad. But I mean, I just I was just wondering what's happening with this person next door, because we've been friends with them for a long time, and just the kind of. There are 3 apartments on this floor, and so those 3 apartments, we just we talk to each other when we see each other in the hallway and ask how each other are, and but they kind of kept to themselves. He's works at Sloan Kettering, and she had a leg problem or a hip problem, and then she had some asthma, and she's. There's a guy, one of the oldest guys in Europe is over 100 years old. And he came down with the coronavirus and survived.
Oh, wow.
It was a World War II.
Yeah, the 104-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that story.
Wasn't there a World War II veteran that got it and survived? And he just turned 100?
Well, it could be. I don't think...
I had him on TV tonight.
I don't think the way in which why somebody is more susceptible than others is because of certain conditions. Like they were saying that people who have diabetes are there's a bullet aimed at their head that this can kill them in a heartbeat. I don't have that much wrong with me. And oddly enough, neither does Marjorie. She has a little light COPD, which I may have too. I think everybody probably gets it at some point as they age.
Smoked.
Huh?
Especially you smoked.
I smoked, but I quit for almost 40 years ago, okay? So,
Yeah. You still smoked.
Yeah, but I don't,
Years, you said.
Huh?
We're in the throes of an international respiratory pandemic. That people would still smoke boggles my mind.
Asian countries, they smoke like it's going out of style.
They do. They love this.
My neighbors, somebody was smoking the other day, and it was wafting through my windows. I had to close all of them.
You have some neighbors, Bray. Your neighbors are terrible.
My neighbors are terrible. I got one that wants me to go back to America. Mm-hmm. I got another that's got 7 cars that they leave idling out front. Mm-hmm. Has all the workers come and wash in the car. Dog barking. Special needs kids screaming, partiers over here, partying all night. It's like,
Well, all I'm saying is...
Fire?
What we have here in New York now are the sirens. They're the most prominent sound you hear.
We have sirens here, too. I imagine that's what it's like at the end of the world, before everything fully collapses. You just hear sirens
Bree?
every now and again, and you hope that they stay away.
Bree, do you have a frequency generator where you can put out tones and stuff that'll drive them crazy? You just put some earplugs in and just.
Yeah, I bought the. I told you I bought the dog bark thing, but it's too small. It doesn't generate a loud enough sound to interrupt him.
I think it's a good way of solving the problem with that dog. Buy a lion.
Or tiger. We got tigers here.
Oh, you got tigers? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, I mean, I think that it's pathetic how little we were prepared for this. How we just kept thinking, oh well, yeah. And everybody, how many times over the last couple of years have you seen a documentary on TV or a discussion about the eventual pandemic? You know, we were always talking about the eventual pandemic. So wouldn't you think that if that were true, we would be doing something for the eventual pandemic? Well, we were, oddly enough, because that's exactly that's what our president Barack Obama put together was a pandemic task force, and when he got into office, killed it.
Right.
You know, so there was somebody who saw the future. Yes, Rob.
Same thing's coming with you know, the climate change. We're going to hit the brick wall. The scientists tell us we're going to get there, and we're doing nothing about it. And then when we get there, we're going to overspend, try to fix, and never be able to catch up.
Right.
Because we got people who don't believe in it.
Yep. Yep.
Same thing. We're on our way.
But I mean, you know, we saw it coming. We knew it was coming. Yeah. Everybody talked about it coming. I mean, I saw a speech that Bill Gates gave a couple of years ago, a TED Talk about a pandemic. And, you know, of course, he was looked at it, oh, that's Bill Gates doing his good work. Good boy, Bill, you know. But he was trying to warn us, you know, and he's involved now in a lot of the data and statistics that we're hearing about. His company is doing the data on this. Why didn't we do anything? Why didn't we prepare for something like this? You know, we prepare for war. We have an arsenal of weapons, you know.
We're good at that.
We're going to have more casualties with this and probably, potentially, maybe, I mean, how many people died in Vietnam? Do we?
That was 50 or 55. Cuomo said that nobody knew that this type of virus would hit us. He said nobody could be prepared for this kind of virus and this kind of thing.
I don't think that's exactly what he said, because I've been listening to him every day. And he was saying that we could have done a lot more to prepare for this. You know.
Yeah, you could if you're a mind reader.
But nobody. You see,
be a mind reader. There's countless articles and.
Yeah.
The science has been calling for this for years. It happened in 1918.
You want the really sick thing here? You know, the respirators, what do they call them? The ventilators. That we had something, I don't know, like 20,000 of them or something, and they don't work. And and you know why they don't work?
Batteries.
You know what? No, you know what? No.
Batteries.
No, they don't work. They don't work because you have to turn them on about twice a year in order to have them not stagnate. And we paid a company to do that, and we stopped doing business with the company and just let them sit there.
Yeah. Budget cuts, huh?
Yeah.
Another missile.
Penny wise, pound foolish is the saying.
A 32-year-old woman diagnosed with coronavirus in L.A. dies next day.
How many people here on the panel know that the coronavirus can be spread by asymptomatic people?
Oh, yeah.
Does everybody here know that?
Everybody knows that.
Yeah. How long have we known that?
Well,
Carriers.
How long have we known that?
Pretty much since mid-March.
Okay, so why did the governor of Georgia tonight give that as his excuse? They finally put out a stay-at-home order.
Right.
And he said the reason, and this is exactly what he said today, Well, we just found out that it can be passed by asymptomatic people.
Charlie Wallace had his hand up. Charlie, he was waving like crazy.
Oh no, I just waved my hand when he said how many people knew about it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
No, we
No.
have not known about that. We've known about that for a long time.
Inept people.
Well, that's the reason why we have to be able to test people to see if they have it, because if they're asymptomatic, then we know to keep them away from people too, you know, and that's good, you know, but we don't have enough tests. Oh, you know, Trump says, you know, we've done you know, we're getting 100,000 tests out there, or 2 million tests, let's say. Well, the population of the United States is how many? You know, that's a spit in the ocean. You know, everybody in America should be tested for this.
But I'm talking about just the guy in charge. The governor of the state didn't know this until today.
Do you think that's true? Do you think you really didn't, or
No,
you
He said the speech. Yeah. He
How
said
about the governor of Wisconsin who's going to let the primary go on?
But they're going to delay the primary to August.
Oh, did they finally decide to do that?
No, that's the convention.
No,
right?
that's the convention.
Oh,
That's the convention. The primary, the Wisconsin primary, is next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
can you vote remotely?
I don't think they're trying to do that, but they may not be ready to be able to do that.
I'll bet pressure has it that will not happen.
They should not, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should not hold any more primaries and let this whole thing be decided at the convention when it eventually happens in the year 2323.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Rob, the guy who was the governor of Georgia was the attorney general of Georgia prior to winning in 2018, I think, or 19. So, you know, he was there. He was involved in the state running the things at that time.
Actually running the election.
Yeah.
What's his thought process there? If he did know that it's asymptomatic, that you can pass the virus, how does he say that to the press today? Well, we just learned that it's, you know, if you have an asymptomatic person, they spread it. So we had to shut down the state. Finally,
Rob, things happen later in Georgia. You don't. They don't get it as fast down there.
Yeah, they just heard the Civil War was over.
No, a lot of them still think it's going on.
I think Florida is the craziest one.
Two guesses.
That governor should be shot, right?
Yes. I mean, Alex, when he makes a statement like that, shouldn't he just step in and say, "All right, you're fired"? No other questions. He's removed.
Common sense is devoid in our government.
Yeah. That's the problem.
Because does anybody know what happened in Pennsylvania? Because they were a holdout too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Every state, the president should have put out an order and just said, I'm making it a national decree. Everybody stays indoors.
He's too much of a pussy to do that.
You can't do that.
Yes, you can do that. You can declare martial law if it is in the best interest of the population, which this is.
And you know, some states don't have the problems that
Phil,
other states do.
you can do it, but they will if they don't put their people indoors. Anyway, hey, listen. We've run out of time here.
Everybody's going to move to Georgia.
Yeah, everybody's moving to Georgia. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you to Jeff. I've been a little silent tonight, Jeff, but that's okay. You know, Charlene, thank you for joining us. Bree, good hearing from you from Malaysia. We have to tell everybody you're in Malaysia because the picture looks so good that you never think you were that far away. Tony, thank you. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Ray. And if all of you will give a big wave goodbye, I shall wave back at you. Bye-bye. Okay, that's our citizen panel for tonight. Jack Bishop will be assembling another one right now as soon as we're through here, and we will be through here in just a couple of moments, so stay tuned for that. I'll be back again tomorrow night. Yeah, the last show of the week. Same time, same station in life, and in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. Have a nice night.